What is up, everybody? King Dylan here with Joker, and today we're going to be looking at Genshin Impact characters that we didn't get to last time, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a refresher. We're doing this based off of both their gameplay, their character, and their stories. So, kind of a little bit of everything. So, if they're like really good gameplay, but we don't really like their stories, that will impact their score. So it's not just like, oh yeah, this guy's an S tier gameplay, but if they're boring, then why do we care?
Oh.
So I just wanted to point that out. This is also pretty subjective, like it's our opinions of this, so take everything that we say with a grain of salt.
Please. Take it with a grain of salt.
Or a cube of salt, or whatever amount of salt you need.
Just because we hate Wander and you don't does not mean we should think any less of you.
We're also going to re-hit the Wanderer and Farozon, because when we originally made the video, we didn't know enough about them, so we can now give them a more accurate representation for their characters.
Yeah, we're also I get to refresh on some characters too. But...
Yep. Link in the top corner for like the first Genshin Impact review. I don't think anyone changed.
No.
From our initial review. I think it stayed pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like nobody got better, nobody got really worse, so enjoy. So let's start with Wanderer. Where would you like to put Wanderer? I'm gonna just set him there for now.
Do you really want to ask my opinion on Wanderer again?
No, I'm pretty sure you'd still put him in F tier.
Here's my thing. I'm just going to go over in order. Gameplay. Wanderer is a very strong DPS. Like a really, really good animo DPS. Like if he has specifically Faruzon, which is required for him, he is a very, very solid DPS. He is really good.
I would put him as a B tier for like DPS wise.
DPS, I'd like put him to B. If he had Faruzon, I'd put him A. He is a really good.
The problem that I see with him is that he's got a lot of team comp problems.
Well, he does. He's a lot of DPS want Farina.
Yeah.
Like a lot of DPS want Farina because Farina buffs everything.
Yeah.
So and also he's mono animo, so he doesn't really have like reactions other than swirl.
Which you're not really building him for EM to utilize those swirls.
So, but the thing is, he's not bad. Like people still use him to this day. He's also a little better than Chaska, but that's just so.
Yeah.
I have also. I'll talk about Chaska when we get to Chaska.
Yep.
So gameplay, I think Wanderer is.
And then he's also got some mobility skills and stuff like that.
That's just throughout there. His story quest, I think was okay. I think
it was interesting, and it explored like Irminsul a little bit deeper. I liked it.
Yes, I did. I did like that we got to explore Irminsul and do all of that, and then also him getting an animo vision. Anyways, character-wise, I hate this kid.
I completely agree.
So this kid is basically cancer put in human form. I've never liked this kid from the moment we met him in the Mon official event. I looked at him and I'm like, I don't like you. From the more we knew about him, I didn't like him more. We did his story. Anything about him, I still want to slap this kid in the face.
I did like his Memory Forgotten mode, but then he went back to Angsty Kid, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So
I put him in like D.
Yeah. D.
Like his character just heavy weighs it down.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, Faruzon.
Faruzon. I did Faruzon's Hangout, and that actually gave me a really better impression of her.
I actually haven't done the Hangout event yet. I need to. So where would you...
So, first off, gameplay. Faruzon is just a animo DPS support.
Honestly, Animo kind of needs that, because right now their support, there's not really any other group of characters that can support them. So having animo and designated animo support really helps out the DPSs, all of them.
It does. It really does help out a lot of animo DPS.
Except for one.
Well, two, actually, technically.
Either way.
Because there's one, but we'll get to her later. But, yeah.
But basically, if they're doing conventional...
animo damage.
Or no, if they're doing damage. If they're not doing reaction damage. if she is going to be the best partner for Zhao, for Wanderer, and they're just going to hit harder because of her. And she does need a couple constellations, but she's a 4-star, so that's good.
It is.
I would say B. I think we put the other.
I will admit, I wasn't a fan of her character at first when she was first introduced, but doing her hangout thing, I did like her a bit more, because she actually does have a bit more character, especially because there's a thing with Tighnari's and oh my goodness, the little robot that's in Tighnari's story, but
Oh yeah.
Tighnari's already been talked about. Yeah, it's a cute little thing. Along with, she genuinely is a actual nice person, even though she does like money. But yeah, Farzan B, I'd say that's fine. Oh boy.
I'm going to defer to you for this because you are a big fan.
I do like Alhaitham. Now, okay, so gameplay. Alhaitham is really strong. Like,
One of the only like dendro damage dealers.
Like, he is really good. Honestly, there's not really I can't really say anything negative about Alhaitham other than sometimes it is confusing because he is about skill management and prism management, so the more prisms you have, the more damage you do.
He's more complicated to use. I've seen that when I've done the test runs of him, that getting his stacks up right is a bit tricky and not wasting them and stuff like that, so I can see that being a little tricky to you. But, like, it's not, like, crazy complicated.
But, like, with the right, like, supports, he's just really good. Like, if you need a dendro... And also, sometimes it also is playstyle to some people, because some people don't like playing with, like, the swords, and you gotta, like, go in the air with a skill, plunge attack, get more stacks, and...
So there is a skill gap for him, that he is harder to play than, like, just point and click.
Than just a point and click adventure with other characters, but I think he's super fun. I actually still pull him out every now and then, and he's actually really fun. So, okay, story-wise, this guy is just a know-it-all and a jerk to every single person around him.
And he is not apologetic about it at all.
Oh no, he's like, I'm smarter than you, and I know I am. Do not talk to me about that. In his story quest, he knew from the very beginning when the dude brought up, like, the whole experiment thing, he knew from the beginning how to de-escalate it, get it all through, and everything. From the start. And he's like, yeah, I know how to do it.
That's pretty impressive to just be that smart. He just knows he's just that kind of a Chad.
He's just like, yep, I am. Well, I mean, if you've seen his... Dude, compare muscles from Ito to Alhaitham. Alhaitham, all he does is read books, and he's got bigger muscles than Ito does. How?
So, where do we want to put him?
So,
I personally would probably put him a B tier. But I can be talked up to...
I'm going to say this right now, he's not an S, because I will put him at A. The reason I'll put Alhaitham at an A is because I did read a bit more of his, like, story details and, like, his character page. And the only reason he even attended school is because his grandma, who was taking care of him, told him to. Her dying words was like, hey, listen, I know you're smarter. You technically don't need to go to school. You're already smarter than a lot of it, but just go. Just make some friends. Do something, please.
He made a friend. And it's not even really friends.
So, yeah. And Alhaitham, he's kind of the person that knows everything, but he's not really nice about it. And he does not like talking. He is not a fan of small talk.
Well, the thing about it is, you know from the get-go that he is not interested in, like... He's not good at communication. He does it because he has to, not because he wants to.
Honestly, I like Alhaitham.
I agree. I'm okay with him being an A. Like, I was gonna try to, like, dissuade you if you're like, S tier, but I'm like, I can get away with A.
No. He's not an S tier. He's not, like, a perfect character. He
is the best
when you look at him,
driver. Or not Animo, Dendro driver.
I agree with that. He is the best Dendro driver.
But Nahida exists, and therefore you don't need a Dendro driver.
You don't. But it's just if you want to Dendro drive on the field.
Yep. He is the best.
Really good. Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Okay, so let's talk about her good qualities. Honestly, in story, I actually didn't like her. I didn't mind her. Like, she was.
You said you didn't like her. I was like, whoa.
I didn't mind her. Like, she was really cool. Like, an interesting character. The problem is, she came to standard and she was garbage.
So, okay, hold on.
Okay.
Story. Her story quest. I think her story quest is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the whole adventure of her finding about her dad, about like the whole adventure, her life as a mercenary, what she had to do, and also her relationship with Dunyarzad and how they're basically best friends.
Yep.
And also she's a sweetheart. Like,
Yeah.
she does genuinely care about people. In the Nahida event, I can't stress this enough. The person who started the idea of Nahida's surprise party was Dia. It was Dia's idea.
Yeah.
And that, I'm like, I'm surprised that was your idea. So, honestly, I like Dia. I love...
Character-wise, she's really good.
I really like her. Gameplay-wise, she sucks.
She is one of the worst, like, put-together characters. Nothing on her kit is fluent. It's just kind of like
I will say this one thing. I'll give her one props to her gameplay. She's the only pyro off-fielder that requires a skill and not a burst.
True.
That is like her one gimmick that I still use because I'm like, okay, Cannibal is insanely good, the best, but it's on a burst. It's on a cooldown. Hers, it's on rotation where I can just push a button and put pyro. It's a field radius, so it doesn't follow me.
Technically, you've got another person who can do that now, too. But we'll get to her. And her different set of issues.
We'll get to her in a second. I have a lot to say about her. But,
So,
Dia.
So, character-wise,
Love
honestly, A or B.
like
for
agree.
character-wise,
she's really good.
Gameplay-wise, D or F. Like, there is minimal use for her outside of, like,
Niche
very,
comps
very
or-
niche things.
And if, again, there are team comps that you can make her deal damage, but you can also make it to where you can have Siege Queen deal damage.
True.
But
We'll get to her, too.
get to her too. Honestly, C sounds right because it's her story that's bringing her up, but her gameplay is taking her down.
I feel that C is an appropriate place. Just, yeah.
Again, I need to also instantiate this. Just because a character is like in C or below does not mean we dislike them. The only genuinely, there's only one character that I dislike in this game, and it's Wanderer. Everyone else, I have an honestly good opinion on.
What's funny is I think Wanderer got promoted from F tier last time.
Yeah, it's just because of gameplay.
He's one of the better Animo drivers.
Yes, but
And he's got movement skills, and he's got other things that he brings to the table. But we're done talking about him.
yes. Anyways, Dia, C, I agree. Her story's bringing her up. Her gameplay is bringing her down. But all in all, I think she's good.
We've got
Yao
Yao Yao. I actually really like Yao Yao.
Yao Yao is also a sweetheart. She is just a sweet, tiny bundle of joy. She is Klee, but not a terrorist.
Yeah, Klee, but the exact opposite.
Klee, but if Klee gave out treats instead of bombs.
I love her interactions with, like, the other characters, the Cloud Retainer, and just, like, that family. That she's just part of it.
Yeah, she's just part of that family.
We're just like, why? This random girl just is. Don't worry about it. Her gameplay, she's a 4-star healer for Dendro. It's pretty good.
This is what I'm not understanding. People are saying she's one of the worst 4-stars in the game, and I'm like, how? I can think of, like, multiple other 4-stars that are worse. We're talking about him soon. I don't think she's bad. Like, even when I got her at C0, I did not think she was bad.
I don't think she's the best.
She's not the
for
best,
any
but
of the positions.
she's
but
not bad.
Like, honestly, for, like, gameplay wise, I would put her at, like, B tier.
Like B, C, I don't. Again, she's not bad.
But she is a little awkward to. I mean, her burst is not the greatest.
Her burst is not the greatest. If those bunnies stayed off field and you could swap off them, then that'd be good. But it's the fact that right when you pop her burst, throw the bunnies and then swap, the bunnies disappear.
I know.
And that's the sad part.
So, I would say B. Like that. Her character, I would say, is B. Her gameplay is B.
Yeah, I mean, I bummer.
I love her interactions.
They're cute. I was gonna say I may bump the gameplay down a little bit because I will say gameplay. Again, she's not the best, but
if you want to compare her to the 5-star variant,
okay,
then it's not a fair comparison because he brings 3 things to the table and does them all really well.
We're talking about him later.
I know, but she only brings 2 things to the table and she does them okay. which for a 4-star, that's pretty good. I'd rather have you do, if you're gonna have them do 2 different things, do them okay.
It's a character that you get that's actually not that if you have to use this character, they're not a bad pick.
Like, honestly, if she was there early game, like, if you're not playing late game and you have, like, 60 different, like, 5-stars you can pick from, she's a reasonable option for a healer and Dendro applicator. Like, end game, I can see, like, there's a lot of other options you can go for Dendro application or healing.
Yep. Honestly, B is good. Again, she's not a bad pick, but there are better options, and she is not a bad pick. And that's the thing there.
Okay, let's just move on to... To be completely honest with you, I didn't really care much for him.
When I first met him in, I think, the event, I think that when he was introduced, when he was talking about the scout for Varka and whatnot, I was like, okay.
Why was he brought onto the elite team?
Okay. And I'm like, then he said he was part of Eula's squad. And I'm like, why did you go with... Okay, that's...
Whatever.
Okay, sure.
Honestly, personality-wise, I would give him a C.
Like, C, it's not awful. He's just a typical shy boy. Like, okay, sure, I guess.
His gameplay-wise...
is horrendous. It is awful.
He supports the worst element in the game.
No, the worst.
Physical.
The worst. Physical.
Physical is the worst element in the game. Fight me.
No, it's bad. It's awful.
Yeah, so it supports a bad element. There's only, like, 2 characters who can kind of use him. And even then, they're not that great. And you can probably get more support out of, like, Bennett than it is from them. As long as your Bennett's not C6'd.
Well, there's also another character you could use as...
Well, yeah, or Farina.
Again, we'll talk about those characters later,
Yep.
But...
Again, 4 characters later on the list.
His story, I don't have a problem with. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it either. But his gameplay is just horrendous.
So...
Like, it is bad.
Do we want to put him in D or F? Like,
I don't know if he deserves an F. That just means his character is also bad. But
for me, it's neutral. But his gameplay is...
horrendous.
You know what? It does bring to the table something that no other character does. Physical support. That's a bad thing because physical is not a good element.
I mean, he does give attack speed. I mean, that I'll give him credit where credit is due.
He does support the characters who do want him.
Yeah, he
so
does.
I'm okay with... You want him in C or D?
I want him in D. I'm sorry. It is only that 2 characters would want to use him, but there are other characters that you can substitute to probably do his exact same thing, unless he's C6'd. I'm sorry. His gameplay is just horrendous.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, Mika, D. I'm sorry, Mika. You're fine. Bye,
We've got the person who's been teased for like 3 years.
Okay, so do you want to talk about Baiju or do you want me to?
I'll let you talk about Baiju.
Baiju. So, at first, I always knew when Baiju came out, I wanted Baiju. But he wasn't on my, I need to get him. He was like, if I get him, cool. I don't think I'll use him a lot, but I'll get him. As soon as I got this guy, I used him on a lot of stuff because I'm like, crap, I need a Dendro applicator and a healer. Where can I find that?
And he takes the role of 3.
And then also I'm like, a shield would be nice, and he gives me a shield. That continuously just comes back.
Honestly, for just team utility, Dendro is the best element in the game right now. Shields are really powerful. Healing is really good and enables characters like other people who we are going to discuss later.
Just free reign.
Yeah, so he literally gives 4 different buffs.
And also a passive literally just says, hey, if any kind of Dendro reaction happens, I give that reaction a buff.
So honestly, just gameplay wise, he brings a lot to the table.
Oh, he brings so much to
He's
the table.
Not the best Dendro applicator.
No.
Nahida's not being beat.
Nahida's not being beat by that, but he brings a lot to the table.
But as a, secondary Dendro applicator for your B team, he is really good.
He is insanely good.
For character-wise, I genuinely like his character and story.
I hated how much I liked his story. His story was really good. Like, his story about kind of his family ancestry and about how they're seeking to be immortal. So that way the curse of the snake doesn't pass on. Well, curse, putting it... Like, it's not really like a curse, but it's more like it's a toll, basically.
Yeah.
But it was so good. It was really good. The thing is, he brings a lot to the table.
For utility-wise,
he brings a lot. His story is really good.
I'm an advocate for him being an S tier.
Like, I'm also an advocate for him being an S tier.
Okay, well then that's decided.
Like, I didn't think I'd use him a lot, and he's on like every other team that I use. This character some people have said this is the most like undermined, undervalued character that people are not pulling for, but he is such a gem that people don't realize that he is really good.
He is really good.
Like, people are like, why aren't you pulling for him? Like, he's insanely good.
At least give him a thought when his reruns come around. Like, he is actually pretty good.
He is really good. I get it, you have Nahida, but like having another Dendro applicator that's a healer and a shielder would be really nice.
Yeah, he is a good secondary option when you need a tighter team comp that Nahida is not doing everything that you need her to do.
Baiju, good, S, nailed it. Everything about him is insanely good. There's nothing about him that's like bad.
Yep. Kirara. Honestly, so I'll talk about her character first.
Go ahead.
I found her annoying.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like her from the get-go. Like, I didn't hate her, but I'm just like, okay, well, I'm waiting for you to stop talking so I can listen to everyone else. I genuinely didn't care much for her personality. Okay. Like, it's interesting that she, like, does this, but, like, she's really weird sometimes, and I'm like, I'm not really for it.
So, my take on her story, I am, like, in the middle. I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily like it. She's, like, in the middle, like, okay, this is fine, I guess. The story with the simulacra thing, I felt like she didn't really do a whole lot. She was there. She got a costume. That was it. Other than that, the main, like, people at the event that I knew were there were Wander, Nilu, and Navia.
Yeah, she
like,
was just
I knew those three were there, but her, I was like, oh, you got a costume. Okay.
Congratulations, you look like Puss in Boots.
You look like Puss in Boots, which, of course, it's the cat, so of course.
The costume looked good, I will admit that.
Oh, no, the costume is good. Like, all points aside, the costume is really good.
Yeah, and, like, her character design, like, normally, like, I don't have any, like, thing against it either. I just...
Okay. Her gameplay.
What gameplay?
It is... So, it's a Dendro shield. Okay? Problem. Those Dendro shields, like we were talking about Baiju and how Baiju's shield is really good. But the reason Baiju's shield is really good is because it continuously comes back.
It's a continuously refreshing over time, so even if it breaks,
right when it breaks,
comes back.
He gets another one. Kirara, on the other hand, yes. If you look at her multiplier for her shield is huge. It's big. But here's the problem. It's Dendro. And if it touches any element that Dendro is weak to, so Hydro, Electro, or Pyro, that shield is gone.
Yeah, Dendro's weakness for just, like, shields are bad.
Yeah, so if there's any of those elements on the board, that shield is going gone. And then her ult is bombs that spread around. I would love to have an Anemo character that can swirl those up, but unfortunately, I can't run Dendro and Anemo together.
Yeah, they're not a good compatible team. It literally brings, like, what Baiju brings to the table and what Yao Yao brings to the table, but does them all worse. She is the worst Dendro applicator, period.
There's, like, no one.
Not even joking. So you can't even use her like, hey, I need a team with a shielder and a Dendro applicator. No, her Dendro application is terrible. And she is a field hog, too, for the Dendro application. Mm-hmm. Her overworld movements...
cute.
It doesn't even help.
Because
you get to run up walls, I guess.
As a cute little cat box. It's kind of just a cute little thing. That's
it. Like, world mobility is not even, like, that great. Because there are other characters who can do They're better 4-star wall climbing characters that are better.
Yeah, but we'll
get to them. But
we'll get to them. But
honestly,
where would you put her? Where do you think? Really?
Like, nothing for me is bringing her up besides her just outfits. But I'm like, even like Mika's design, I don't hate. Wanderers, I think, is a little weird, but we're done with them.
But would I rank? Okay, I gotta think about this. Do I think Kirara is worse than Okay, because Wanderer is being brought up by his gameplay, and his gameplay is really good. Mika, okay, what's bringing Mika up then?
Because he brings something to the table that nobody else does.
It's a physical support.
He does something unique, and so far nobody else does that. And that's why I'm thinking that he does have a use in the teams that require Eula and Razor, because they are physical builds. He does enable Razor a little bit for the reaction. Not great, but he does bring something unique to the table. She brings a bad shield, and then world mobility skills that kind of work, but not really. Like, I can't think of a team where she would actually be a good position. Where, like, Mika, I can think of teams that he can fit in. Dia, I can think of teams that she can fit in. Her, I can't think of a single team that I would want to run with her. And that's my problem, is that I'm a team builder. I love to theory craft, like, if I put this character and this character together, will they work together and synchronize well? I don't think she synchronizes with anyone.
So, I'm reading more of her stuff. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Looking at her base kit, yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this right now. Looking at her base kit, unless she has constellations, I'm not joking. I think I have to agree with you. I think this is probably one of the worst Dendro applicators in the entire game. Like, looking at her base kit, one of her passives is the more she hits people, she creates a shield again. But it's when she's in that cat box and when she tackles someone, she creates shields.
She suffers from the Sayu problem, where Sayu requires too much time on the field, meaning, and because she's not an on-field attacker, you're wasting time, energy, and resources, and she's probably just going to get hit by something and die.
So, do you want to know what makes her become an off-fielder? Her C4. Her C4 is when they're protected by a shield, she will deal off-field Dendro damage every 3.8 seconds.
So she gains a little bit of extra Dendro application.
She gets off-field Dendro application at C4.
Is that enough to put her out of F tier?
Her C6 is a damage bonus, but I need you to understand, that makes her usable. Other than that, I am not joking. I would rather... There are better Dendro characters. You get a free Dendro character, and even the Traveler. You get 2 Dendro characters for free that are better than Kirara.
That too, I didn't even think about that, yeah. Compare it to people in the same position.
Like Kale and the Traveler. These two are much better.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her here. Sorry.
Now, I'm sorry, Kirara fans. I can't think of anything. I built her. That makes you feel better. She's built, and I don't use her, but...
Okay, ready to move on?
I'm sorry, I feel kind of bad, but I can't defend you guys. I'm sorry.
Lenny. I didn't have any particular, like... I didn't like him, but I didn't hate him. I just thought, like, okay, they're here. They kept butting into the story at weird spots, and I'm like, why are you here? What are you doing? Okay. Why are you in jail with us?
Here's my take on Lenny. Because again, throughout the entire story, what I learned throughout my entire, like, relationship that we have with Lenny loves his family. He is a family person. He cares about every single one of his siblings.
And I can respect that. And that's something that, what I liked about him is that I can respect that he is a family-oriented, like, he will do anything to protect his siblings.
That in the story, because usually Lenny is very calm, very demure, but when he found out that Wisely has his sister, then Lenny started to kind of lose his cool a little bit. And he actually tried to attack him.
Yeah, I will give him respect. Like, his normal personality is kind of like mid for me. Like,
he's a magician. I mean, I got the aesthetic. I I understood.
I didn't feel that he had the same like magician like personality that I was expecting from a magician like that. Like you'd expect him to be kind of shady, but he was just kind of, yeah, I'm just a nice guy. And honestly, just a generic nice guy is a little boring. Sorry.
Lenny did always have like a trick up his sleeve. Like a lot of the times he did for like a lot of the magic shows, or like when we first entered Fontaine, like how he did that little rope thing to Paimon when we were about to get busted.
He's a balloon, or she's a balloon.
I will give credit where credit is due. Lenny, he's a smart fellow.
Yeah.
Again, his story, I like his story. He's a family guy, loves his family. I've seen it multiple times where they have established he is a family guy. And he cares about you just like family. He cares about the traveler just like you are family.
Gameplay wise, are you got anything more to add?
That was kind of it.
Gameplay wise,
he's confusing for me.
I've seen his gameplay and he's pretty good. It's a little confusing because you have to like reposition his like doll thing that he summons, or the little lure. I will admit that he is one of the few characters who the lure actually works, because he keeps repositioning it in front of the enemy, so they're more likely to get like distracted by it.
I was not a fan of his gameplay, but I know he is really strong.
He's really strong. Again, like same here. His gameplay is not for me.
It's not. I was not a fan. But again, I know it's really strong.
I play mobile, so archers are a no-go. So just keep that in mind, that any archer will. I'm 100% a mobile player, but I will give him respect for being a really strong pyro driver. Like, he is pretty good. Yeah. So
honestly, to where I'd say B seems.
I agree. B is kind of a good spot. His personality, personally, I would put it in like C. But for gameplay, I would put it in like A. So I think B is an appropriate spot.
I think B is a good spot for Lenny. Again, Lenny is very, very good. And again, he's a good driver. Yep. And again, story-wise, he's a family, cares about everyone. We've seen it all over in a lot of different quests, story quests, other characters' quests. Yeah, I like him. So.
I have nothing against him. I think he's a little boring. Like, he's just a generic nice guy, but that's just my personal opinion on him. I do like that he is family oriented, but that's all that he's really got going for him. He's like, I'm a generic magician. I'm a nice guy. I love my family, and that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like there's nothing more. So, we ready?
Oh boy. Do we even need to discuss this?
No. Sorry. No, we don't. Nuvilet. Nuvilet is one of... So, I'm going to start with his gameplay, because this is going to be the simplest thing to talk about. He Kamehamehas the crap out of everyone. His gameplay is simple, but it is really fun and satisfying to do. And he just shoots a water beam at, like, everyone.
He does. He does. He waterboards people. He
has life regeneration from his own skill. He damages himself, enabling the one of the best artifact sets in the game. He is 100% a self-sustaining damage dealer that he can solo stuff by himself.
Yep.
If that doesn't say S tier for just gameplay wise, nothing will. And then, add on to his awesome gameplay, his great personality,
fantastic storytelling.
Exactly. You actually feel for the man, and like him in the Archon quest is integral to the whole story, and you're like, okay, I can get behind him. And then his own story quest, the Melusines being like brought in by him and stuff like that, and basically being his like pride and joy. I love that he's just like a doting dad.
He is, and you gotta understand that in that story when he first introduced him, they were not accepted by the Fontanians. Like, they hated him. They thought it was basically racism before racism. But then later it grew into now Melusines are part of Fontaine. Like they are.
And the people of Fontaine are like,
oh, we'll die.
You're looking at the Melusine wrong? We're gonna beat you up.
We're gonna take you down. Justice.
I also love that he's 100% about justice, but he's not like, and he's like, I'm like down for justice. Like it needs someone to put their foot down. Like this is the law, and I will be that person. And I just love everything about him.
He's a great character. Like everything you said, and again, story great, gameplay great. Everything about this man is fantastic.
He is the strongest Hydro driver, period.
He's also one of the strongest damage dealers in the game.
True. Yeah, he enables one of the best artifact sets that he just natively gets. You don't even need to run Farina to rock the artifact set, which is nice. But he also gets a lot of buffs from her as well.
We'll talk about her in a moment. But
honestly, he's one of the best characters in the game, and I genuinely love playing as him. And
I am so glad I finally got him.
You can build him for any team you want. If you want him to do freeze, you want him to do vaporize, that's a little bit trickier because of fire supports. I have him for the Hyperbloom, yep. That works really well with Nahida and like stuff. So he works by himself, he works with others, like there's not a team that he doesn't work in.
And also the man just keeps winning. There's another support that's coming out that literally helps Hydro and Cryo damage dealers. This man just keeps winning.
Like, if you're looking for a driver for your account, unless you are fighting literal Hydro slimes,
then
he's your man.
He's your man.
Because he's gonna do Jack Diddley Squad against them.
He's gonna do Jack Diddley Squad.
Kamehameha! Immune.
Well, that's embarrassing.
But yeah, it's just it's fun to play as him. I can see an argument being made that he's too easy to play. But at the same point, he's still really fun to play. And there's a lot of other characters who are simpler and just, you don't have to think about it at all. But then again, he's just hold and spray and pray.
Yep, that.
Except you don't need to pray, because your god's right here.
Your god's right here, and he's fresh out of mercy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move on to Wriothesley. I'll let you take the floor on this one.
Okay, so I'll go off right. Start gameplay. Wriothesley is fun. Like, this is genuinely one of those characters that when I saw him, and I saw his gameplay, I'm like, well, this is fun. I just literally get to punch someone in the face. That is all his gameplay is, just punching people. That's it. Basically, it's just... There's nothing really else. It's just punching people. And also the fact that he is now the best character to ice bridge with, because you just hit the button and he makes his own bridge by aura-oraing across the river.
Who needs to ice bridge anymore? Sorry.
We're not talking about her yet. Wriothesley. His gameplay, really fun. Problem is, his gimmick is the same as Nuvilette's. The problem is, unless he's C1, he has to stay in like an HP threshold. If he leaves this threshold, it's gone.
He's a C0 Bennett, where Bennett suffers from needing to be in a certain threshold, your character needs to be in a certain HP threshold in order to get either the buff or the healing, and he kind of suffers from the same thing. He's like, either I get the attack bonus or I get the...
Wriothesley's is, so when he presses his skill, it's basically like an enhanced mode that his punches are now going to decrease his health, and when he's in this threshold, his charge attack becomes no stamina consumption and it heals you. But the problem is, if he leaves below this threshold, he does not get it. So if he gets attacked, or if something happens, he gets...
Meaning you need a shielder to keep him right in the sweet spot, or else he's gonna be hard to use.
Exactly.
Or he's not going to get his stuff.
He's not going to get his gimmick. C1 completely erases his gimmick to where after the 5th combo of his normal attack, he gets it immediately, or if he's ever low, he'll activate it immediately, so rather than charge attack, you heal.
Okay, so basically his heal becomes on board whenever he...
Whenever he gets low, he can heal himself.
Okay. That's really nice. It does suck that
he
limited
is a
5-star
is C1 restricted.
Yeah,
But at
it's
C1,
like,
he is really good.
it's like Hu Tao, where I think it was Hu Tao that needs C1 to really be
She
good.
needs C1 because then her charge attacks cost no stamina.
Yeah, and that's the biggest part of her gameplay, where I feel like he's really complicated to play.
He is a little more complicated.
Like, I
to
think
play.
that Alhaitham is a little bit easier to play than Risley, especially at C0.
Oh yeah, because Risley, you have to stay in this HP threshold. If you leave it, you're not getting your gimmick.
And then if you do your timings wrong, then you don't get the
butchered
healing.
his whole thing, and now you gotta run someone to keep
you
him
have
up.
to learn how to play him.
Yes.
So he is a bit more complicated for he's not a pick up and play character.
No, you kind of gotta play with him a little bit to understand his genuine.
You gotta learn a little bit.
Gimmick. Story. Story is really good.
I actually really like his story. Like, him in the Archon quest, I thought it was really cool. Like, yeah, I knew what you were doing from the entire time, but I also knew who you were working for, so I let what you did slide.
I let you do what you gotta do. And his own story quest where we didn't... At first, I was kind of okay about it, but then it was towards the end where we got the real nitty-gritty, where we actually learned how he got everything and how he ended up in jail.
Yeah, like, it's some serious, like...
It's some serious stuff. I love this man. Like, right when I saw him, I knew I was gonna like him.
I would be okay... So, for gameplay-wise...
Gameplay
at
is
C1, I would say he's, like, A, but without C0, I'd say he's B. But character-wise, I think he's A.
Honestly, I can agree with A. I think A is a good spot for him because his character is pushing him up a lot.
Yeah.
It does suck that he is C1 restricted because that is his only, like, thing that's hurting him. If he wasn't C1 restricted, he would be insanely good.
Yeah.
And also another thing, he's Cryo. Cryo does not have a lot of good reactions.
Cryo is one of the worst elements in the game.
Because his best reaction is freeze and melt.
And Pyro has an issue with making characters who are good for Vaporize and Melt because Vaporize and Melt is broken.
Yep.
So, you know, that for some reason they like that problem. And they're just like, we just made a new fire driver. Wanna play? No.
Can I have an off-fielder?
Can I have a good off-fielder, please?
No!
No! Use Cannibal!
No! Here's Cannibal! Thanks. Okay. Oh boy. Another one of my favorites. Again, another one do we even need to discuss about her?
No. This one straight up goes to the top. I took Nuvula. Do you want to take Farina?
I'll take Farina. Farina, okay, so I'll admit, I was one of the people that did not hate her when I first saw her. I knew that Brandon, Kizna, Missy Lou, and you did not like her at first. She was annoying.
I do agree that at first I found her, what's it called? Yeah, annoying is the appropriate word for it.
When I first saw her and heard her, I'm like, oh, I like this girl. I don't know why, I think she's just super funny. I get that she's being kind of rude, but like, I just think she's funny. But then as it got more and more into the story, we learned more about Farina and everything else about her. It just got better and better and better and better.
I love that it was just like a bait and switch where they're just like, you're gonna hate this person. Oh, JK, this is one of the best characters, like, story. You're gonna love this character. Like, dang.
Like, yeah, it really changed a lot of people. That a lot of people were like, we need this girl.
Yeah, she became...
Don't matter what she does, we need her.
At start, she's like, I'm the villain of this arc. And then you're like, get to know more about her, hear her inner dialogue and stuff like that, and you're just like, okay, so she's not as bad as she says. She's
it's cute to hear her inner dialogue.
I do love the inner dialogue parts.
Good thing I stayed up all night to study for that thing.
I did find that funny. I'm like, I still find you annoying, but I thought that was funny. And it's like, luckily I stayed up all night to
study for that thing. They're trembling in their boots.
And then just after the whole reveal of
she's not the Archon,
yeah,
and that she's playing the part so that all of Fontaine doesn't get washed away, and
then even her like character thing afterwards, I loved that she's like, you know what? I'm going to help other people become actors, and I'm going to be still an actor because that's who I am.
I will say one thing about the story quest. That story quest is one of the ones that I was genuinely uncomfortable with. The reason I was uncomfortable with the first part of Farina's story quest, it was not the end message. The end message of that story quest and the song behind it, really good. The first part of it, the first part of that quest, I hated.
We were just dogging on her for no reason.
It is, so Farina said, I have set boundaries. I don't want to do this anymore. I was just doing it for a very long time. I want to break. And they're like, no, do it again.
Can you at least help us with it? JK Lols, can you please do it again?
Do it again! And I was very uncomfortable with how rude we were being. To a girl who just wanted a break!
I mean, I will admit that the Traveler and Paimon were a little rude to her, making fun of her mac and cheese obsession. But
listen, it's girl dinner. I've learned this. It's girl dinner, okay? We leave that alone.
But I still like the message, and I like that she accepted that that's still part of her,
It's something that helped her get closure at the end.
Yeah.
That it helped her.
I do admit that it did get a little awkward and stuff like that, like midway through it and stuff like that. I did like that she was going for like more of a, what's it called? Mentor role. I wish she would have stayed just as a mentor role, but her becoming an actor again is not like that bad. Like I'm okay with that. I wish she would have just stayed a mentor. Like, this is what I am, a mentor.
Story, we realized, really good story quest. Gameplay, best support in the game, hands down. There's no support that's better.
Yep. Her skill is both for healing and for damaging yourself, which enables one of the best artifact sets in the game. You get like, was it 65 crit?
36 crits.
36 crit, excuse me.
36 crit, but it enhances your normal and charge attack damage. By 15% is the 2-piece. And then the 4-piece is
either way,
your crit rate.
Either way, one of the best artifact sets for most characters, she enables.
She enables you to get an artifact set.
Yep, and then 2, her burst is universal damage bonus, meaning every character who is not dealing just straight up reaction damage,
or someone who like scales off of, I scale off of attack, I scale off of def.
But even then, it doesn't matter because it's an additive. It adds on to the damage that you
that's
do,
already happening,
regardless of what damage type you're using. Where Bennett is just like, I can't help Gore or Ito or Nuvilet because they scale with a different thing than just normal attack. She just says, hey, I help everyone.
There's no one that I cannot help.
Unless you are straight up only doing reaction damage. That's the only time. And even then, she enables good reactions because her off-field Hydro application is beautiful.
She's really good in Bloom.
Yes.
Like Nilu Bloom, ooh, it's really good.
Yeah, like, she and just is... Honestly, she puts, like, other off-field Hydro applicators to shame. Like, she's the best at that. She is...
There's one of the reasons she is, like, one of the top 3 most owned characters in the game.
The one thing that she does, need...
is a healer.
You do need to rock a healer on your team, or else you're gonna run into
You're
problems.
gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
Not kill yourself, but you're gonna be at where you can't suck any more HP away.
Yeah. You do need to have an HP resource, because you don't want to switch her off from, Hydro mode. But for, like, also, world exploration. She walks on water, and she'll tell you what's next.
You remember Kokomi's ultimate, that when you popped it, you could walk on water? Yeah, Farina could just pop a skill button and just start walking on water.
Honestly, that is crazy, that you can just, like...
And the best part, there is no downtime.
There's no downtime.
Reapply the skill, and you're back to walking on water.
Yeah, there's no downtime on her. Her skills, before it's down, you can reset it back up, and so... just S tier, like, there's no question.
Like, I can't think of a bad thing about her.
Yeah. She even though is not technically the Hydro Archon, they treat her like the Hydro Archon, and she is as powerful as a Hydro Archon.
Yep. They're a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, these two are just like...
Are a 2-for-1. They are both basically the Hydro Archon.
They together become the Hydro Archon. Okay.
Okay, now we're off to those
Back to
our regularly scheduled program.
Sure. We've got
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
So, okay, I think I have the floor with this one
Yep,
for a
go
little
for
bit
it.
because, so here's the thing, Charlotte kind of grew on me a little bit. I don't know what it was. At first, I was kind of, because we had the event that was before Fontaine came out where we had a little adventure with Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, she's fine. She can seem a little nosy, naggy at times.
I always felt that she was just pushing the narrative forward a bit, like, oh, here's some information on this and stuff like that. I'm like, that's cool. That's nice to have a character who does push narrative forward. I was fine with it, but go on.
Later when I started to have more interactions with Charlotte throughout stories, throughout events and everything, I actually grew to like Charlotte a bit more. I was like, okay, I actually like you just a little bit more now here, which is kind of nice. I genuinely, she cares about her job. That's kind of the biggest thing for her. And okay, so story-wise, she's fine. I got no beef with her. I kind of like her, I will say, a bit more.
Personally, I would put her at higher or upper mid. Like, I'm not like super fan of her, but I don't hate her. Like, she's in a positive level, but like just slightly above that. Like, I'm not too like I don't love her, but I don't hate her.
I will say this, Charlotte for gameplay is not like bad. Like, it's kind of in the same boat as like Yao Yao, where she's she is Cryo Nahida.
But 4-star Cryo Nahida.
So she takes a picture, marks everyone with cryo, and it's cryo application.
Which in theory is really good. The problem is cryo is one of the worst elements, or not a great element.
Yeah, so, and also her ultimate heals the entire team, so
burst healing plus reasonable cryo application. There probably will be teams that could utilize her as a team comp, and as a team builder, she does have value.
She does have very decent value.
But right now, cryo is not a great element.
It's not good.
So she's a hard sell, because if you're dealing with like freeze and stuff like that, you've got a cryo driver.
Yeah.
Or you've got somebody else in mind for supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple other characters that are going to be coming up, like you.
We'll
get to...
we'll get to her in a second. But, well, a bit below in a second.
But as a 4-star option...
She's not bad.
She's not bad. It's just... Right now, cryo's not great.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who needs cryo is either already cryo and using vaporize and freeze with their own stuff, or...
Yeah. Where would you put Charlotte?
So, character-wise, I would probably put, like... Probably B. I would say B.
Actually, B's a good spot for her.
Because she does bring good utility, and I don't have a negative opinion on her, but that's all I can really say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do like that she does bring... She comes in and just like, hey, have you heard this story? And just pushes the narrative forward. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you do need characters like that.
Sometimes you do need characters like it.
So...
Again, I have nothing wrong with Charlotte.
I think B is an appropriate spot. She's useful for what she's used for.
Mm-hmm. Fremine.
I didn't really care much for this emo boy. Sorry.
So, here's my thing with Fremine. Because did you do the event with Fremine?
I believe so. The one with the
about
child.
The child and the penguin soldier.
Yes.
Yes. That one, I will admit, it kind of expressed a little bit about what Fremine goes through at like a personal level and what he feels. And I respected that. Like, don't get me wrong, I really did respect that.
I don't hate him.
I have a positive opinion of Fremine. Like, I like Fremine. Mm-hmm. Like, I have no negative things to say about Fremine. About story specifically. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to story real quick. All of the family members care about their family. I need to instantiate this.
And they're all kind of in that same boat and stuff like that.
Family-esque.
Yeah.
gameplay. He revolves off a reaction that shatter. So he has to freeze them and then break them. So he needs a freeze comp, but the thing is he needs a cryo application and a hydro application. But the problem is he can't apply it too quick, I guess, because he still needs to break that ice thing and shatter it.
Yeah, he's a 4-star driver, and they typically don't do super well. Mm-hmm. And he's already not a great element, so gameplay-wise, he's not that good.
He's not really that good. He's a physical driver, which is not very good. And it just sucks. Which I really hate about. Because, again, I like Fremine. I have no negative things to say about Fremine's story, but I'm going to be honest, I'd put him in, like, C. I think that's a good spot for him.
Like, the problem is we can't really, like, compare him for, like, early game stuff because we're not at that point in the game. We are level, or AR 60 for, like, the last 2 years. We've got plenty of 5-star characters. So there's no real reason for us to try to invest into 4-star characters that don't really have a reason or a team comp that can be used.
I will say I do build some characters, and I will say some 4-stars have surprised me. Actually, some are about to pop up here, 2 in particular that are about to pop up, but others are also I'm disappointed in. But honestly, C is a good place for Fremine. I like his story. The event was really nice. It was really sweet. Again, Fremine, I like him, but his gameplay, I just wish it was better.
Yeah. The final
sibling. Okay, so I did her hangout. I don't know if you did.
I don't think I have. I've been pretty lazy, sorry.
It's okay. I'll explain her hangout. Her hangout was okay. There was a couple things. I think one of them was about a show. I think something else was just about a cat. A cat that they found. The problem is she's kind of in the same boat as Fremine, where okay, hold on. Story-wise, I have no beefs with. There's nothing wrong with her, but it's kind of in the middle, where I don't necessarily have a positive reaction towards her, but I don't have a negative reaction towards her.
The only negative thing I've got to say about her, besides her, like, she, like, trusts the Traveler way too quickly, and I think that was weird. Like, they should have built up the trust, because she, like, genuinely trusts you from the start. Like, where him, I can see him doing a little, like, fake trust, like, oh yeah, we're buddies, right? And, like, still, like, keeping an eye on you and stuff like. But, like, she genuinely, like,
trusts you kind of off the bat.
And I find that weird for certain characters. I'm like, why do you just immediately trust the Traveler? Like, I hate that when they do that in games. They're like, for some reason I feel a kinship with you, and you're like, I don't even know you.
One thing that also slightly...
That's the only thing that bugged me, but continue.
One thing that also does slightly bug me a little bit. I probably should do a bit more digging. So, in the orphanage, Linny and Lynette are twins. They are twins. Like, they are blood siblings. Like, they are siblings. I just find it weird that they look the same, but one has animal features and one doesn't. That's just a little thing on me that I'm like, I wished Linny had either some sort of animal features that kind of listed
or
him,
kind of explained why he doesn't.
Why, I think there's something in the story that explains why he doesn't have any. But that's just a slight thing. But other than that, they look the same. Like, they are twins. I could believe them that they are twins.
Yeah.
Her gameplay, it's the off-field Animo application.
The problem is, that's a hard sell because you have Venti, you have Sucrose, you have a lot of people fighting for that position, and they do it really well.
Because the other characters apply CC, where she doesn't. It's damage, and her damage is...
And they also provide buffs, and I don't think she provides too much buffs in comparison to Sucrose and Venti and Kazuha and anybody else, even like Cloud Retainer. I think all of them bring something to the table that just adds to the...
All of them really do. Honestly, where I'd put Lynette is C. Like, I don't have a... Again, it's kind of in the middle where I don't have, like, necessarily bad things to say. But it's not that, like, it's a complete negative.
She's got some world movement ability, but that's not...
Nice.
It's just running speed. That's not even that great. Like, Wander gives you the ability to fly. You can run up walls, which is your only redeeming quality. But she just runs. She's got Yelan's running, but she'll auto target behind her and then attack.
Yep.
So you can't even like, if you run and target something, you'll just attack it, and that can be annoying sometimes. Which I do that with Zhao sometimes too, where that's the targeting system, and like they're supposed to be attacks, not world movements.
World movements
necessarily, but you know, whatever. I agree with C. Like personally, character-wise, I would say C, but like gameplay-wise, D for me, which I'm okay with a C.
Yeah, I say right next to her brother.
Yeah,
so
the siblings are all right here.
they're all together.
Kaveh.
Oh boy.
Kaveh was a cool gimmick, but it didn't work.
So, okay, first off, story-wise, his relationship with Alhaitham is really funny.
Yeah,
I will admit their dynamic is very funny.
Yeah, the dynamic between those two, I thought was really funny. Like, their constant bickering and just, like, stuff like... I thought that was funny, and, like, they make a good duo.
They do. They make a very good duo.
But outside of that duo, I don't think his character really holds his own.
The event that was around Kaveh basically told us that Kaveh will do stuff for free just to get a smile from people. And then he drinks his worries away because he got told off by a client. So if he disappointed someone, he just drinks it away. I don't have a negative opinion on Kaveh.
He kind of falls into the same group as Lenny, where he's just a generic nice guy, even though his bickering is funny with Alhaitham, because Alhaitham is kind of the opposite, where he's a general, like, sour guy, and they clash.
It's more like Kaveh is unfortunate circumstances. Like, he fed an animal once out of pity, and then a whole flock followed him. And he was like, leave me alone, I don't have any more food. But, okay, story is kind of, it's okay.
It's mid, but not bad.
Gameplay. It is a gimmick, I think, done wrong.
Honestly, it is Nilou done wrong.
Because, and I've noticed this, that they'll pick a character and they'll run it on that manner, being like, hey, these two characters should go together. The problem with running Kaveh with Nilou is they will pop right when Kaveh hits the field. Right when Kaveh gets to the field and tries to pop them, they're already exploded.
Yeah, he gets nothing from it. Yeah, Kaveh, what his gimmick does is when he pops his skill, he pops all of
He pops the blooms in the area.
He pops the blooms in the area, and then he heals from it, or... And then
Bloom damage will not deal him damage, it'll heal him instead.
Yeah, it heals instead, which is fine, but it's not consistent enough to replace a actual healer.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there was the thing that he could destroy objects in people's worlds.
Yeah, that was an exploit that someone found, and the problem is some people's worlds are ruined because of that.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be held for or against him, because that's not his fault that people are menaces to society and just want to watch the world burn.
I just feel bad because I understood his gimmick. The problem is the banner he is run on eliminates his gimmick, because a 5-star can just do it better.
Nilou just does it better.
I will say, the restriction is Kaveh is not team restricted, so you can run other elements on the same team. Nilou says you can only have Dendro and Hydro on this team. If there's anything else, my gimmick will not work.
Yeah, but I feel like there's not enough reward for him to do it.
Exactly.
His Dendro application is kind of not great.
It's his ult is a Dendro infusion, and it's a Claymore, and
yeah, he suffers from the I'm a 4-star driver at endgame.
Yeah.
By the time you can like get him like story wise, you're like I've got like 5 other 5-star drivers. How much does his personality sway you? Because I'm thinking D. Because he does have a unique gimmick, but it's not a useful gimmick for gameplay wise. And his personality for me doesn't really save him.
I mean,
I'll leave it to you. C or D?
I want to put him in C. I don't think he deserves D. I think it's his personality saving him a lot, and his combo with Al-Haytham.
Yes, I will.
And also his hangout was nice. It was a nice change of pace to find out that he kind of was left by his mom. But his mom kind of had the same passion that he did about his work. So I will give credit where credit is due.
He does have a good dynamic with Al-Haytham. I will. They're kind of the cats and dogs fighting, and it's an interesting like dynamic. And so I'll give you that one. I didn't consider that when I was putting him in D. So I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Oh
no.
My sister's favorite character. Time to dog on her. No. Game or story wise, I actually really like her. Okay,
go ahead, continue.
I thought the Spina di Rosula was an interesting concept. Like, she's just a mob boss, but like a friendly mob boss apparently. I do like how she interacts with her like teammates and stuff like that. There's kind of a dynamic between them. Rest in pieces, the 2 stooges that...
Malus and Silver.
Yeah. May your playing card be played. Always.
Always.
But yeah. I actually didn't mind her character at all.
I was just going to say a comment that this is the biggest, like, I love one side, but I hate the other side.
Oh. So you like her character and... I
love her character. I love her story. I love her character. Her story quest is really good. Her role in the Archon quest, everything that she was a part of, I really like Navia. And in the event, I still love Navia. She is a great character.
She is willing to be quirky just because she can. Like she's down for almost anything, and like that's cool for a character. Like, yeah, I'll be king. Sure, here's my mustache.
Here's a mustache.
Like that's funny. Like I love characters who are like, I'm down to do anything. Sure, let's do this.
For it.
Her gameplay, on the other hand.
So people like her gameplay. And I'll admit there are some different types of people. Shooting people with an umbrella gun is probably satisfying.
The problem is, that's the only thing she has.
So we're gonna go into her crystallization.
She's a bad element.
She's Geo.
The second worst element in the game, only beaten by physical. Yes, physical is an element. Geo is the worst element in the game.
Yep.
Like, actual, like, element in the game. Crystallization does absolutely nothing. She needs crystallization for her to get stacks. Her burst gives her stacks for that too. If she gets 6 stacks, I think her gunbrella does way more damage.
Her gun is just a big nuke of damage.
I do like that her kit enables it a little better, that if you hold it, you like suck them in.
To you.
That's at least makes it a little better, but at the same time, she also disables her ability to run with Mono Geo.
Yep.
Meaning Goro is off the table.
Literally, she has a passive that says there has to be more than 2 elements on my team.
Or you lose like 50% damage or something stupid. I think that might be 30%.
It's like it's a damage booster reduction. It literally says you will not run Goro with me.
And I hate characters that do that.
Hurts. Because it's a Geo driver that does not want Goro, and that's bad.
Yeah. And then like her normal attack does nothing. Her burst does nothing except for give her stacks. Her gunbrella is the only thing that has any like merit to using. Which
it's literally, if you're a Geo driver, you are going to have Goro with you. If you don't, you're bad.
You're going to struggle. Because Goro gives a lot.
Goro gives a lot of damage increase.
So like character wise, I wouldn't mind putting her in A. But for gameplay wise, I think because she's a one-trick pony, I would say C. You got anything to add to that?
The problem is, because a part of me is like, I agree and disagree. I just hate putting Navia this low. Because the thing is, her gameplay, the only saving grace to her kit is the gun. That's it. If the gun was not there, I would definitely put her lower.
Yeah, if you took that one...
If that gun did not have such a big multiplier on it...
Yeah.
She can deal damage. It's just... It's not good.
So, meet in the middle and B?
B, I think, is literally, it's dragging up... Her character is
drags up
so much.
And her gun is not bad.
Her gun is really strong.
Or her gunbrella, I should state.
But that's it.
That's it. There is nothing more to her game.
It is just the sake that the gun just does so much damage.
That's the only reason that she is anywhere near viable. And then she's team locked. That hurts the most.
Yes. That hurts.
Team locked. That is always... And that's something that comes up a lot later on, especially when we get into...
there's a certain character...
A lot of characters.
We are not going to talk about her yet.
We'll get into them later.
We'll get into her soon. Anyways, Navia...
Team locked in a bad way.
Yes, team locked in a bad way. B, good. Character, really good. Gameplay is hurting, but gun, really strong.
Okay, now we got team locked in an interesting way.
So...
I have a mixed opinion on her.
Okay, do you want me to take the floor with her?
Sure, go. I'll
Actually,
explain my opinion after you explain yours. So go ahead and use.
So me personally, I actually really like Chevros.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her character. The event that we got to explain her really explained like her job and her opinion of justice, and that everyone else has a different sense of justice.
Mm-hmm.
That she asked, "What is your sense of justice?" And genuinely, you had multiple answers. That kill him, send him to jail, let him go free. You had multiple things to discuss what justice to Chevros. And Chevros doesn't judge you for it. She's like, okay, that's your justice. All right, I understand. And Chevros is, how do I put this? She feels like a subordinate doing her job, but genuinely does care about her job and will do her job, even though she was not raised by a good figure.
I got you.
Let's see. Anything else about... Honestly, I hope she gets a hangout. I think that would be really nice.
I would be down to hang out with her and see what she's all about. Like, that would be cool.
Because there are things that it shows that she is just outside of her job. She can be a normal girl.
She's obsessed with fried food.
She loves fried food. She loves junk food. And she's like, I eat this and it makes up because I just work it off.
I eat well and then I work well.
That's it. But honestly, story, I really like her. Like, I don't know what it is. But gameplay wise. So gameplay at first, when I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't seem very good. Because it's overload. Your team has to be Electro and Pyro only.
So she's team locked to Electro and Pyro only for her to get her full potential buffs.
So basically your team has to be these two. But the benefits she gives is not awful. C0 base gives 40% shred and a damage bonus with how much HP she has. So when she shoots her gun, she'll shred them for 40, and then you will get a damage bonus based on her HP. And she also heals you.
Yeah, burst healing. Just like everyone else. The burst healing's fine.
It's fine. More constellations for her makes her a lot better, I will say.
Okay.
C6, definitely a huge change, because now you're getting a straight up raw damage increase to Electro and Pyro whenever you have any kind of damage going off.
Yeah.
So whenever those things are going off, you're just getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
So my issue with her is that, for me, she is compared to someone like Sucrose, who is another 4-star support character who, with the Vener set, shreds 40 resistance and gives a buff. Unless it's C6, I honestly think Sucrose is better for especially that kind of team comp. And it would then unlock your team. unless you are desperate for or not on all the time healing, which is fine. I just found her utility not as great as what they wanted, because other people can do similar things for Shred. But yeah, the C6 probably, if you get her C6, then she's definitely more worth it for those specific team comps.
She is, I will say, there is a decent difference to C0 and C6.
Which, she has the same thing as Goro, where he really gets good for what they're going for
With
at
constellations.
C6. Which, a 4-star character getting to C6 is completely reasonable. Like, I think mine's at like C5 now. Like, and I have not pulled for her specifically. And, but yeah, that's my thing, is that I compare her to Sucrose or...
The thing is, because, okay, the two elements she helps have better reactions.
That too.
Any Pyro driver would prefer Vaporize. All of them would prefer to have Hydro as their support. And also Animo would just swirl it, because it would just be better. Like, I think a standard team, like, I could probably throw this team on right now. D-Luke, Farina, Cannibal, and, I don't know, Kazuha, or Cloud Retainer, just to keep him healed. Boom. Done.
Yep. But, yeah. So, I feel that she...
It's locking
very
into reaction,
niche role.
But I think she makes the reaction work.
Yes. She enables the overload reaction to be viable. So, theoretically, if there becomes a very powerful 5-star character who needs overload specifically, she will support them and actually reward for that.
For that restriction.
Yes. Which is good, but also not great.
Yes.
Because a lot of the Pyro drivers are one of the best in the game, and almost none of them want her.
Yes, they can use her, but I think others have better options.
She does enable, like, if you're very restricted on what team you're going with, she does enable you for healing. So that is something that she brings to the table. She brings the Shred and the heal. And a bonus at C6.
And also, she does come with her own passive that buffs health.
Yeah.
Her own passive that's, I think, this Ascension 2 passive.
But, yeah. Personally, gameplay-wise, she is very heavily, like, compared to a lot of other buffers. And she's in a very, she doesn't bring enough to the table to, like, just overwhelm for, like, if you're going this way, do this. I feel like some characters can get away with, like, Sucrose. I'm a big advocate for Sucrose, that she does a lot of the same stuff, but a lot less team restricted. So, gameplay or utility-wise for me, she goes down quite a bit. But character-wise, I'm 100% fine with. Like, I have nothing against her. I'm okay with B.
I think B sounds like a good spot. I was gonna say B or C. I think B is a more appropriate point, because I think her story will carry her up a little bit. And also,
then potential...
If she gets C6, I will admit there is a noticeable difference.
So you can go a Pyro driver and Ball, her and...
Ball, D-Luke, they'll work with her, because if there's an Electro or Pyro driver that you just want to run Overload on, they can work. Clorend can even work, or Arlecchino can even work for these types of drivers to make them deal a decent amount of damage.
Plus, Fontaine enemies have weaknesses to certain alignments or whatever.
Yes.
So she does bring that to the table as well, which some other characters don't. So, not necessarily a make or break thing, but it is something to note.
Yes. But anyway, B, I agree. That's a good spot for her.
Yeah, I think for me personally, gameplay would be like C. Well, utility-wise
would be C.
C. Character-wise, B. So I'm more inclined for a B.